Hi, my name's David, and I'm making this video as a kind of kickoff for sharing this project that I have with the wider world on YouTube. I plan on making many videos showing how it works, as well as showing future progress on this project. So this is a chessboard in Excel VBA, as you could probably tell, maybe. And so what we're seeing here is basically the main sheet, although there's a lot of work that goes on in the background of the VBA for sure. So I'll basically make this video an overview of the current functionality, and as I mentioned, more content will come in the future showing more about how it works. So right now there's a number of functions available. On the board manipulation side, changing just the board around in general, you have a simple flip board function, changing the perspective depending on which player you'd like to see, as well as allowing you to see your opponent's perspective. You can make a new game. As well, you can import alternate boards or save the current board scheme for later use. So the way that's done is there's a text box here which contains a code corresponding to this unique board configuration. So I just copied that code and I can paste it into a cell here or save it in a text file or what have you later. And basically from there I could, for example, hit new game or reset the board. And now I can bring that code in from wherever I might have had it, copy that, drop it into this text box, and when I hit this button board from code, it brings back the board based on that code. So now we're back here, and there's a variety of other tools now here to see the situation with respect to gameplay. So starting off on this move right here, register move. This button allows you to pick a cell, essentially a piece, and take a look if you toggle the action filter at where that cell can currently go, which cells it's currently interacting with. So we see that this is a queen. Obviously, it can attack this pawn. It can go diagonally, attack that pawn over there. It's defending this ally. Defending this ally. It can travel to any of these light blue spaces, and it's being defended by this knight, although it's not a reciprocal defense scenario. So there's a legend over here showing what all these colors mean, and these are fully customizable as well, which I'll show in a minute. So another thing you can do is toggle the action filter for a future action. So for example, if we wanted to see what would happen if this queen were to move into this position right over here. So I can set that using this active cell button, put that over there, B5, and this is going by the chessboard coordinates. Toggle that future action filter, and you can see that in this position, the queen could attack any of these pieces, as well as move into any of these squares, and it's being defended by these. So that gives you visibility onto a future position. And since it's a future position, when you hit OK on this box, it reverts back to the current state. The intent, some future work, is to have a move log, where when you confirm a move, it'll make that move happen, and using standard chess notation, that move will be recorded in a log. And then perhaps you could have undoing be performed within the log as well, or facilitated by the log. So that's some future work I have in mind. Another component which I find pretty interesting is the total board overlay. So the board overlay essentially tells you which team is in charge, per se, of which area of the board. So in this case, again, these colors are customizable, but in this case, the dark squares are in a position such that there are more pieces on the dark team which could attack any of these squares than there are pieces on the white team that could attack any of those squares. And the opposite is true for these light beige squares. And for orange squares, each team has the same number of pieces that could attack those squares. And the light blue squares are those positions where there is actually no piece on the board that could move from its current position into that square. So that is basically communicated by the subscripts. So if I toggle subscripts, you can see how many pieces from each team are defending or attacking a given piece. So the numbers on the left are always the number of white pieces that are attacking a given piece or square, and the numbers on the right are the black pieces, the number of black pieces that are attacking or defending a given square. So here, for example, we see that this rook could be attacked right now by the queen, so it has a 1 on its right-hand side. but it's being defended by 2 pawns, so it has 2 on its left-hand side. And for example, here we can see that this rook is being defended by 2 pieces, because the number on the right is corresponding to the black pieces, and it itself is black pieces, so it's being defended by this knight and this pawn. Conversely, you can see orange squares will always have the same number of pieces from each team attacking them, although that number may not be 1. And you can see that items on blue squares have 0 pieces attacking or defending, which communicates the fact that although that square may be occupied, there is no other piece on the board that can move into that square at the given time. So you can reset colors, you can toggle those subscripts as per your needs. I have a button here which doesn't yet do anything, cell summary, which is meant to toggle subscripts for all cells, including those which are currently unoccupied, as of now these subscripts only appear on pieces. So that would give you a different sense as well. So as I mentioned, the colors are fully customizable. For example, right now I have this layout, which generally uses different shades to communicate different information, with generally positive shades such as green indicating defensive positions and red, orange, yellow indicating risk or offensive positions, vulnerabilities, etc. So, for example, if I perform a register move again for the queen and look at a future position right there, oops, I hadn't I hadn't entered the cell to move into. So if I enter that one using that active cell button, toggle the action filter, then we can see it's all black because I hadn't updated the colors. So let me hit update and check that again, and we can see these colors. So for example, if I was interested in having positions to which I could move be a light beige, then I could just go to this cell over here, set that to this light beige, toggle the action filter once again. It's the same because I hadn't updated it. Update it, and now we can see that those positions are beige. So these colors are fully customizable. It's something I added recently, and you can. I have the default here, which will, as you just saw, it will reset to this default, which I was using in a different context. So in this context, the colors are. I hadn't updated it yet. You always need to update the color. So in this context, it will return you here. And if you save, so let me just put a beige there once again. You can save your own default so that if I, for example, hit the reset button right now, and then I hit restore to default, it returns that to beige because I had just set beige. So for example, if I change this to a bright or dark orange, and I hit reset, I hadn't saved it to default. So when I restore to default, I have beige again. So anyways, that's some overview of the current functions, and I'm looking forward to sharing this project in the future and sharing more about how it works. I figure it can be a good case study for anybody who's interested in VBA or doing some more unorthodox tools with VBA with Excel. It can be a good case study for seeing how to work with the VBA environment and solve some problems. Use logical manipulation, logical tests to pretty much do anything you'd like, really. It's the power of coding. In any case, thanks for watching. If you want to support my Patreon page, feel free to do so. Links in the description. The benefits over there are that you can look at all my code with all the comments. I have heavy commenting of basically all my lines of codes so that somebody could potentially just read right through and understand what's going on. Whereas all my code is accessible for free with no comments if you wish to look at it. So thanks very much for watching and have a great day. Bye-bye.